Well, I will just say that I am a work in progress. And I've spent many, 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 many years and a ton of money and have been working on understanding how to make myself a better human and how to create a better life and how spirituality can be translated into something extremely practical and achievable during this lifetime.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Robin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And today let's talk about cultivating human potential in the AI era. So tell
Let's
us what
talk
it's all
about
about.
it. So, I do have a book for you. I am reading, it's right here on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Mastery by
Mastery.
Robert Greene. And
Okay.
this is something we are at risk of losing. It's not that common anymore, but this is really under attack as we outsource more and more to technology, particularly AI. And now I'm obviously not anti technology. I'm not anti AI. I've been in the industry for more than 25 years. I love technology, but it has to be used responsibly, it has to be used safely, and it has to be used ethically. And so we're inadvertently creating a scenario where we're actually going to lose more and more of our critical thinking skills, which means we lose more of our personal agency, which means we become more easily manipulated, which means we don't cultivate our human potential. We actually go backwards if we're not careful.
Interesting, Ms. Robin. For the last 2 years, the dominant narrative has been human AI collaboration. But the February 2026 WF meeting is shifting towards something more unsettling. The idea that AI is no longer just a tool, but environment we inhabit. What is the difference between using tool and living inside the system, and why does that distinction matter for human development?
Because one of the things, when we talk about using a tool, one of the things we haven't really acknowledged and taken responsibility for is our mind is a tool. Our brain is a tool. It's an interface. See, the AI is pretty fascinating because it actually can teach us something about our own magnificence. Our brain is our interface with mind. Mind is not physical. You can't cut the brain open and find mind. Mind is something that goes out infinite and it touches infinite mind. So when we talk about, you know, living inside of a tool, basically, if you wanted to say that our human experience is like a simulation, and if you want to say it's like a game, then what you want to acknowledge is the stakes are amazingly high. And we need to, as a species, win this game. We need to stop playing around because there are things at play where there are people who don't want critically thinking people because they can't manipulate them. So when we are able to begin to really recognize that the tool serves the master, not the master serves the tool. We're the masters. We're supposed to be using the tools to supplement and to help us do things better, just like you use a fork to eat your meal. The fork doesn't own you. The fork doesn't eat for you. The fork doesn't replace you. It supports you so that you can eat the meal. We've got to create technology like a tool. And I'll give you an example of how technology we're getting this all wrong. You know the idea of somebody with a sledgehammer, and so let's sledgehammer is a wonderful tool if you're going to bust up concrete or whatever. But what if you tried to use that sledgehammer to make a hamburger, to pat the hamburger patty down? Would that be a problem? Is that an inappropriate use of that tool? So this is what this whole AI thing is like. Oh, AI is everywhere. AI is going to do everything. AI, AI, AI. No, there's no tool that's going to do everything. There's no tool that's going to be everything. That's not even something we need as a society. So the fact that people are trying to sell this narrative tells me this person doesn't understand. These people don't understand what it means to be human. They're disconnected from what it really means to be human.
Certainly, Ms. Robin, authenticity is being the line. Jacob Taylor at Brookings argues that we have misdiagnosed the moment. It's not the age of AI, it is the hour of collective intelligence. What does it mean by that, and what does it demand of us that purely techno solutionist view does not?
Well, if you think about it as a collective, we're creating, there's collective consciousness. So we're creating. As an individual, we use our individual mind to create our personal little ecosystem. As a collective, we start creating larger and larger ecosystems. So humanity as a whole is creating something. Families are creating something. Nations are creating something. Religions are creating something. There's a lot of creating going on at different levels, and some of it clashes and it conflicts. That's fine. We have enough room for diversity. We have enough room for different opinions and everything like that. So that's not a problem. So the collective moment that we are missing is the fact that we don't realize as a collective we're creating. We don't even our level of self-awareness has not caught up to the level that we're using technology. So there's a misalignment. We've evolved this high technology, but we're basically going at a snail's pace as a collective. So when you have dumb humans, let's just say dumb humans and smart technology, that's just gonna be a recipe for disaster. So the collective consciousness, the moment we have is for the individuals to start leveling up. And we only need a critical mass because when you get a critical mass, the rest of humanity gets pulled along in the backdraft and they get leveled up also. So the moment that we need to be taking advantage of, and it's a beautiful moment for us to say, oh, you know what? I value being human. I value other humans. I value our potential. I value excavating our potential. I value learning. I value making sure the educational system serves the next generation rather than cripples and hinders it. So we have an opportunity to make some decisions that will actually determine whether we're gonna have to start this experiment all over again.
Very well said, Ms. Robin. A recent paper in PNAS suggests that human and AI are not just collaborating, they may be on trajectory to become a single evolutionary individual, like the archaean and the bacterium that become the erectotic cell. This is a metaphor. It is evolutionary biology. How seriously should take this, and what would mean to be cultivate potential inside a new kind of organism?
I don't ascribe to this because tell me one thing humans have created that hasn't also come with like liabilities that we're like, oh crap, sort of like the nuclear bomb. It wasn't initially created as a weapon of war, it was created as a source of energy, nuclear energy. And we took it and we turned it into something else, right? So I am not in favor of fusing human and AI, number one, because we don't even understand what a human is. And we don't want to further interrupt our evolutionary cycle by putting something man made that can drag us down, slow us down, and also be hacked. All technology can be hacked. Imagine that. Imagine being able to shut down humans because you don't like what they're saying. Just power them down, power them off. Oh, we don't want these people to have access to this type of knowledge. Let's turn that part of their brain off so they don't have access to those cognitive abilities. That's a slippery slope. We don't want to give, because somebody would have to have the keys to that. You see what I'm saying? We don't need any human to have that much power. It's kind of like in the movie with all the different the Avengers, that Tesseract. No one needs that kind of power. No one. It's not safe in the hands of any human. And we need to be smart enough to realize you don't give that kind of power to any group, any government, any religion, any person. You don't give that kind of power away.
So Robin, I just want to plug in. Yeah, I have a new podcast called AI 101. We will talk about what is the pros and cons of AI in our daily lives, soon to be available wherever you listen your podcast. About every Friday, we are live with my partner, Miss Jackie Pellegrin. So please do listen AI 101 wherever you listen your podcast soon. So you have this paradox, Mr. Robin. We are building AI to amplify human potential, yet every cognitive offloading study shows that what we delegate, we eventually atrophy. Is it possible that the very act of making work easier is making us less than we were? And if
Yes.
so, how do we collaborate without diminishing ourselves?
Yes. Yes. We have to use the tools appropriately. Just like I go back to the sledgehammer. You don't want to use the sledgehammer, to turn the pages of your book. That's not going to work. You want to use, your hands. And so we've got to become more intelligent. See, humans, we're kind of fighting some of our evolutionary programming where we kind of, in a way, we act like children. And so we want someone to come and fix us. We want someone to come and tell us what to do. We want someone to come and tell us how to make a living. We want someone to basically save us. Well, you know what? That's not a role for another human being. And not only that, created in the likeness and the image of the creator, we have a significant enough power and potential, we're only using a tiny bit of our potential. So, really, AI 101 really makes us need to look at human potential 101 and start really taking responsibility for bringing our potential up. And as we bring our potential up, we will find more intelligent and positive uses for our technology in the different tools we have, right?
As Robin, yes, indeed. So, a certified hypnotherapist, inner faith minister, what are your short term and long term goals?
Well, my long-term goal is to advocate for human potential so that we reach the critical mass. I'm not going to do this by myself. I would say that there are lots of humans playing the same game and they're doing it from their end. Even what you're doing by helping to educate people and keep them aware of what's going on. We're part of a bigger network and our objective, our big objective is to help the human 201 come online. The next iteration of the human. We're like our caterpillar version. We have no idea the butterfly doesn't look anything like the caterpillar, but it emerged from it. So, my big vision is for that 201 human to become the standard. And my short term goal is to support humans in plugging into this infinite source of power. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it God, you can call it goddess, you can call it universe, you can call it the field, whatever it is. We know it's vast, and science has already begun to recognize it's everywhere, it's infinite. So if I can tap into that, and we've seen people who've been able to tap into that, even like sages like the Jesus and the Buddha, and we look at them like, oh, they're so special, they're so special. But they're coming to show us what the next version of human looks like. So my short-term goal is for more humans to start playing at that higher level as we make our way to becoming that 201 human, right?
Good luck to your goals, Miss Robin, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to advocate you're advocating right now?
My number one advice for person is to find your secret sauce. Find your it factor. That can't be sunsetted. It can't be replaced. It can't be automated. It belongs to you and you alone. So you don't have to compete with anybody for that. And it's going to come from taking some potential, adding some skills, mapping in some life experiences, some hard learned lessons, some battle scars, some preferences, some quirks. We don't have to be perfect. We are not perfect. Find your magic. Find that thing that where you don't have to strive to stand out because it builds on the way the creator created you and with all that awesome potential. That's yours. No one, no one can take that away from you unless you allow them to. So you have the right to ignore it. You have the right to misuse it. You have the right to use it just a little bit. You have the right to optimize it. Think about what you want to do with your own internal unique magic. And my hope is that you would want to use it to become a better human, become a more prosperous human, but also to contribute to the well-being and the good of humanity so that we have a world we all can thrive in.
Well, thank you for that inspiring advice, Miss Robin. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Um, I'm going to recommend two books. Mastery by Robert Greene, because he talks about how people become masters, and it's leveraging your unique stuff. And also the dark horse theory, again, based on a Harvard, some research by two Harvard graduates, where they found that people were coming out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, where did this person come from? And now they're at the top of their game. Also, leveraging their unique individuality and finding their own path. Those are the two books I'm going to recommend: The Dark Horse Theory and Mastery. And you can find both of those on Amazon.
Well, thank you for the recommended books, Miss Robin. And tell us, if you have a choice to cultivate a potential so that humans can compete with AI, or cultivate a potential so that humans can complement AI, they are not the same thing, and they are produce very different human beings. Which is, are you doing, or how do you learn from the difference?
Um, I don't think we're going to compete with AI because most of what we're being told is marketing, and I'm sorry, marketing is probably 80% hype. I use the AI and it can't. It, the simple things that humans do, it still can't do. And I'm like, why can't it do that? So we're not going to compete with AI. What you want to do is find your own lane for mastery. Then you're not competing with anybody. You're not going to be competing with another human because your mastery is based on your uniqueness, and you're not going to be competing with AI. AI doesn't have the potential of a human being. Our potential came from the divine. Our potential is a unknown variable that we have no clue about. So don't think in terms of competing. Think in terms of finding your own path to mastery, and then finding where you can put that level of mastery so that you can play the kinds of games you want to play, make the kind of money you want to make the contribution to humanity. You don't have to compete when you harness your own unique mastery and do it correctly.
Very well said, Miss Robin. But before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season. Abstract poetry in third season, and my book 101 review in sixth season as well. Comedy 101 in third season, and my food 101 in sixth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101, our fifth season. Science 101, sex 101, fourth season. Spiritual Awakening, Trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and of course, my Bible Verses 101 are my baby podcasts. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Amaze Robin, how then shall we live is now a course at Yale on AI and human flourishing. If you were teaching that course and your student asks you after a semester of Aristotle, Confucius, and the alignment problem, what is the capacity we must not delegate, outsource, or automate, no matter how capable of machines become? What is your, well, answer?
Critical thinking skills and creating. We need to hold on to our ability to create and innovate. AI is not going to come up with by itself come up with a business idea that's going to rock the world. It doesn't think. We amorphize, or I don't know what the word is, but we turn everything and we try to teach it like human. AI is not thinking. It's computing. It's It's looking at probabilities. It's not thinking. We don't even know what think thinking involves so many things we don't even understand. So I think we really got to come to the conclusion and understand AI is a technology. It is a tool, nothing more. Nothing more.
Yes, people is a tool to guide us to enhance of what we are doing. So, Miss Robin, will you be my guest on AI 101 and let's talk about more about what AI can bring to us?
Thank you.
Yes. So, Miss Robin, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects that you want to promote on Book 101 Review?
Okay. I have a website resource called climbwrightmountain.com. And you can go and there's a playbook for you to look at what's the mountain you need to be climbing because it's unique to you. So you want to climb. You don't want to stay at the base of the mountain because that's no growth. You want to climb the right mountain. So go to climbwrightmountain.com, get the playbook, and then start thinking about, what's the right mountain I should be climbing at this season of my life?
Ms. Robin Harris, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Marty Con people, see you soon.